Hey, what's going on, investors? That's here from Investments. We're going to do a quick look at some charts, some real poor TA. You know how we do it here. Just talk some crypto here. And stocks as well. One of the things I want to start with is looking at GameStop here. And the reason being is I got a buddy that's in it, and he's been just hyping it up in the chat, just all about this trade, saying it's very cyclical, and he's not wrong, right? And one of the things I also wanted to bring, and I'm probably going to make a video about this, independent video about this in the future, is GameStop now has a wallet, and it's with Loopring, which is, I believe, a secondary layer to Ethereum, and you can directly buy crypto in that wallet. I don't know exactly what the limitations are. It seems like you can also send crypto out of there, which is already better than something like a PayPal where you are limited to hold it into that account. So that is something that's noteworthy, especially it being a stock or a publicly traded ETF, right? And now they're getting a crypto wallet on board too. The only other one I think that would be comparable would be something like a Coinbase, right? So one of the things they're also going to be doing is they're going to be, I think they're in trial phases of this right now, but they're going to be looking at segregating keys for games. So like you buy a game and you get a key, and potentially you could be able to resell that. And that's one of the missing links, I think, for gaming right now, is because I always still buy physical games when possible because I like to do the resell and at least extract a little bit of value on the back end. But now you can do this with keys potentially. So I think that's what they got in the works, and I think it is a super great proposition, and it's going to open the door for people to get into basically using a wallet, right? Because you're going to have that stored in a wallet. You're going to have your keys stored in a wallet, and you can sell it in that wallet. So it's going to get people more familiar and more used to that situation, which is going to be a great thing for crypto and a good thing for GameStop as well. I think that's something that's been missing for years here. I also think NFTs in real games that people actually play, not like crypto-centric games, is going to be huge. I think once you get things that make sense to have real unlocks for, like for instance, I took part in a Call of Duty event where it was like a one-day event, and you had to be in Warzone at the specific time, and it was lacking the things that you'd want to get from it. Like you'd want to get maybe like a skin or something, like something that's cool for participating in events or accomplishments, right? And maybe it'll open up a marketplace where creators could create and sell more things relevant to that, right? I just see more and more. That is what I see NFTs being used for. Like that's one of the use cases I think that's actually going to be beneficial rather than pictures of monkeys and shit like that. All right, so I'm going to start off by looking at Bitcoin because we had a significant pump, a significant pullback, and look at the line at respective. We'll go to that, but it is seemingly pumping again, right? And why do we draw this line? Let's go back in time here. And you can see we drew it because it had a touch here when it broke out, a touch here, almost two touches, significant touches here as well. And then you can see it's playing around in this area this whole time. And it is just respecting that $29,284 level. So it seems to be a pretty significant holding line for Bitcoin right now. I would love to see it hold this. I still am looking at this with a bearish lens, so I don't know that it will. if it does not, I would expect the next stop to be 24. And I'm looking at this pattern, right? And I was of the impression prior to this dramatic sell-off, right, that we were going to be in the 1, 2, 3, 4 with a 5 wave going pretty significantly higher. It doesn't seem to be happening at this time. I just think the macro of the economy has got people too fearful, and on top of it, I think discretionary spending and money in savings that people are willing to actually invest is going down, right? So one of the things to look at with this is the Bitcoin rainbow chart. All right, and this is supposed to tell you when you're in a very good buy or fire sale phase or accumulate phase. We are currently in the accumulate phase, but we're just teetering on the buy phase. And I've been looking at this pattern pretty close to try to see if it's a fractal of anything, right? And the main concern with that is because when I see this big accumulation structure, like, I'll draw it out here. I know there's a lot of lines on here, but just view what I'm looking at. You see this big accumulation wedge here, and it just reminds me of this one that we saw in 2018, where we were seeing this wedge form, and it got really tight here, really tight, almost horizontal, almost completely horizontal. And what did it do right after that? It just took a big old downturn, right? I'm concerned that might happen, something like that. So I'm trying to observe to see if I spot any fractals. I'm not really seeing anything, but it's just concerning to me. Like, this was the closest one I've seen where you're seeing almost like a double top formation with the second top being a little bit lower. And even this one doesn't look very good. Granted, we're going to get some relief rallies in the meantime. You know that's going to happen. So you got to be very careful of your fake out breakouts here, because they are going to happen. And let's get on a 4-hour chart. Look at what we're looking at here. And yeah, so I guess I'm still looking at this bearish, even though right now it's looking pretty bullish. At least for the very short term. You got higher lows each time, low here, low here, low here. Each time it's stair stepping up. You got a higher high, which is a great sign, right? Don't get me wrong. I don't have faith in the long-term sustainability of this. It's more like, hey, maybe you can make a quick buck if you get a higher high. There might be a good breakout to around 35. But I wouldn't go long-term long yet at this point, right? That's what I'm trying to, I guess, say. Okay, so then let's look at Ethereum. Coinbase. Again, respecting this line here, and we're just playing in this area. These are very significant support levels for these coins all around. You can see they've kind of dropped to these levels and they've held. And you like to see that, but you also don't like to see that considering the macro is very bearish, right? You're seeing a growing bearish economy right now, and that's not a good sign, because where does this next step take you, right? So if we drop farther, how much farther do you got to go? I'm looking at Ethereum because they have what is going to be the triple halvening coming up, along with the merge to Ethereum 2.0, where it's going to become proof of stake. And Ethereum is just one of the most widely built upon and utilized blockchains at this point in time. So it's like, I really want to get into this coin more. I already have a little bit, but I want to get a substantial position before that event happens, or potentially at a good price. So that's kind of why I'm eyeing this up. Right now, chart's not looking too great. You do have your first higher low if this holds, lower high, so not too great, but potentially a turnaround point. Significant support at 1808-ish, and you can see you got multiple touches here, and that's why we drew it. So this is supporting here, supporting here, supporting here, supporting here, supporting here. Was resistance here, but broke out, and look at that substantial breakout in March of 2021. So I think this should hold until the macro dictates otherwise. And if we do fall, I think your next stop might be around 14.5, something like that. Not sure what I have that line drawn in there for. Let's see if we can zoom out and see. Okay, so we saw a nice little bowl here, and that was the cusp of that, right? So that was the previous all-time high. So to go down to that level would be pretty significant. That would be taking you back to levels from January 2018, right before the collapse, right? Not something you want to see. So let's just say that. So let's hope we can at least hold these levels. Next one I want to go to is Theta here. And we're going to get off the daily, go back to the 8-hour here. Not looking great, but again, you're getting a higher low if this potentially holds. Your high was technically higher on this one, right? But not by much. It's almost like a double top, right? So you are not showing much strength here, but a lot of these coins are at such a point where it's like, these are a low risk entry. Like, okay, yeah, maybe you drop, I don't know, to 82 cents, but right now we're at $1.28. Compared to something like $15 or $10 when I know a lot of people bought this token, $1.23 to 82 cents isn't that significant compared to $10 to $1, you know? So a lot lower risk entries happening across the board. So let's see. In the previous time frame, I was looking at this. This was like a seriously bullish formation forming up back in 2021, right? And we saw that accumulation and the bust out of that. This level we marked as very significant, and that was $2.38-ish. Didn't hold. Did not hold. So right now I would say we're trading below the median for this token. And the next one I drew was this similar formation where you had this top posing as resistance and then turned support, and that was at 82-ish cents. So I think 82 cents should be a strong holding spot if we see more downside, right? But we want to watch this close and just see, hey, is this, let's zoom in here, is this this low here going to remain the low? Are we going to keep building and staircasing higher than this? Yeah, no problem, Dimitri. Glad you're here, man. Thanks for checking it out. Just this is just my thoughts, you know, like I'm looking at these charts anyway, so I might as well do like a little bit of a live stream and just broadcast it. I get it, like I ain't the best at TA. I know there's people that are way better out there, but some people like to get various opinions. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just broadcasting my opinions out loud as I kind of go through these charts. So let's just hope this low is the new lowest low, and let's hope we keep building off that. So that's Theta. I like to take a quick little pit stop and look at TFuel as well. And you have that similar formation where you had that that blow off top with a pullback and nice consolidation, nice bullish a bowl shape pattern, right? And realistically, you would mark it right here, and you'd say this should have significant weight in that value. So 4 cents should hold. Let's say that, right? So right now we are not at that level, which is good. We want to stay above there because if the macro shits the bed, we have a little more room to go. When I entered the crypto market, Theta was nearly $15. It's insane. Yes, and that's one of the things I just pointed out is like, hey, granted, this isn't looking super bullish yet. Like you're in a significant downtrend, right? But the risk to buying at a level like this at like $1.23, okay, maybe a significant fall is down to 82 cents compared to buying at something like $10 or $15. It's a lot lower risk, especially for a quality token like Theta. Let's keep moving on. Chili's, a lot of these are just following the macro. So we're starting to see some higher lows, which is good. I don't really like Chili's just because of how significant that blow off top was. I think it's got some significant accumulation to go through before we start seeing much of anything. But I did enter in on, I think it was back here when I saw the breakout above here, and I wrote it up to profit and it didn't take any profits, unfortunately. So now I'm sitting in it at small loss, but it was a very small position to begin with, so nothing too crazy. XRP is one that I didn't take a position on, but it was looking super bullish before it broke down in April, right? Like you were getting higher lows the whole time, but the only thing you weren't seeing was the higher highs, right? So you had like 1 or 2 of them appearing, and then it started falling or sliding down, and then you were getting some more, and then it kind of made a little double top here, and it just did not like that. And then the macro dragged it down with it. Again, you're starting to see lower highs, which is good. Just the macro playing out across all these other ones. So that's the crypto market in a nutshell right now, is just, hey, what's Bitcoin doing? So what I would say with that, just to pull it up, is I would probably just play Bitcoin at this point. There are a couple other tokens we're going to look at, but Bitcoin seems to be the driver of the market, right? So why play anything else besides it? Because it's probably not going to have as significant upside potential. Could be wrong on that. Like I know Theta the other day pumped and it was like a 20% pump while Bitcoin was like a 7% pump. So you could see something like that, but I think Bitcoin is the macro and it's going to follow that. MXC is a mining token, and it's much like a helium miner if you're familiar with that. It's just basically like a IoT device. And the chart was looking very bullish. So let's get a little bit of our nighttime coffee going here. Chart was looking very bullish, and up until Bitcoin really took a nosedive, and we were seeing that nice consolidation pattern. We were getting lower highs though, so it was a little concerning. And exactly when that formation started to really tighten up, it just dropped. And it's something we've seen before. But it also, I feel like, is doing better than the macro. You got a higher low, much more significantly higher low. And you'd like to see it break above that 8.8 cents, and get a little bit of a back test going. That'd be good to see there. Okay, one of the tokens we wanted to see that is really bucking the trend. Let me get rid. I'm just gonna leave those. Really bucking the trend is Tron here, and very, very interesting to watch, just because this is one of the only tokens that is not following the macro at all. And when things do that, you got to ask yourself, what the hell is going on? What is different about this one? And I still have yet to do this, but I'm going to make a note to myself. Tron fundamentals. I'm going to look up to see if there's something going on with this coin, because I know nothing about Tron except for that it's not following the macro right now, which is kind of crazy. So you're getting these lower highs and you're also getting higher highs. I'm sorry. You're getting these higher lows and you're also getting higher highs, which is great to see, especially in this market. I was saying a breakout of 9.3 cents would be extremely bullish. And I think your first stop potentially would be 10 cents. After that, you're looking at pushing potentially all-time high levels of 18 was the highest I've seen. But you got a couple stops along the way, maybe around 13, a couple little back tests, whatnot. But just overall, a very, very bullish looking chart given the macro. The other one was BNB. For some reason, during the drop, this looked a little better. One of the things you like to see is that long wick down with an immediate rebound. Tells you that there is people ready to buy this, right? They probably had buy orders just sitting there ready to rebound that price. What that tells me is there's more people that kind of believe in BNB. And I think a lot of it has to do with utility. Like there's a lot of utility to BNB. So I think there's more people ready to buy it just because, hey, it makes sense if they're going to use it. Not looking as good as it initially did, but you are getting higher lows, which is always good. I would need to see a breakout above 337 to be turning semi-bullish on the short-term time frame. Again, long-term time frame, I am not very bullish that any of these will hold up. All right, let's switch to some stonks. Amazon. Split is happening on the 6th. And I think what you're starting to see is people trying to price that into the market. They're anticipating, I think most people are anticipating this stock split is going to drive retail investors to Amazon when they start to see it's like only $100 some to buy into Amazon. It's going to be significant, right? I know personally when you're looking at like $3,600, it's like, well, shit. Do I really want to spend $3,600 to buy one? $100, well, maybe I could buy a couple. So me being a retail investor, like it does appeal to you. Granted, you're diluting in market cap, right? It's basically inflation. But I would say it does have an effect. So I think that's what's going on right now with this latest pump, is you're seeing that getting priced into the market. You kind of got a double bottom forming up here, nice little W, which is a good formation. You got significant volume coming in too. This actually looks pretty damn bullish. Wow. However, there is the overall macro economy, which I think is going to be bearish for the next at least few months. I hate to say it, but I think there's quite a few things that are going to be problematic in our future. And one of the most problematic, I feel like, is probably going to be significant droughts and food shortages. So that drives me to our second one, which is Mosaic Company, which is something I got into around this breakout of like 46 cents or $46. And this is a fertilizer company. And if you don't know, Russia is one of the biggest producers of fertilizer. So this is a local company, not local, but regional company, I guess, that does fertilizer. So that was one of my plays on the Ukraine-Russian war. Is I heard that Russia produces most of the fertilizer, so I caught it before this significant run up. I was commenting yesterday, I didn't like this formation. It seemed very toppy to me, and it still does, right? So I just want to zoom in and see if I can see anything. When you zoom into charts like this, it gets very choppy. You are still getting higher lows a little bit, but you're starting to see lower highs form up, and that's not something you really want to see. You'd like to see it going the other way, right? So not looking too great, but I think as this war drags on and as we get into the summer and the growing season in the northern hemisphere, people are going to need fertilizer. Hopefully the West Coast is allowed to plant with their significant water shortages. PEMIF, I don't really look at this one too much anymore. This is a lithium play and that has not played out. One of the other ones that is bucking the bearish overall economy, and most tech companies are down. T-Mobile, I guess, would be an infrastructure company, but it's also kind of a tech company. Just had a breakout above 135, and this is a pretty significant breakout because you can see these levels were previous resistance back here and pulled back significantly and broke out above there and back tested it. So this was May 21 and August 21. It is just forming up really well. Looking very bullish on the long term is what I'll say. And especially when you consider something like the macro. I just it's just why, like what's going on with this that's just ignoring all the fear going on in the world right now. Dollar index is still relatively high, but we're getting substantial pullbacks, which is something you probably want to see. The dollar has just been showing a lot of strength lately, which is odd given our inflation rate compared to the world. I don't really understand that relationship 100% yet, but I know it's something that needs to be monitored. So this is one I wanted to look at too. This is back to crypto, but this was looking super significant, right? We looked at this the other day, and I can't remember at what level we were looking at, but it was looking like it was turning around, starting to look bullish. And sure as shit, it sure is. You got significant resistance here at 15 cents. If you could get another breakout of that, I would say short term, you could probably get a nice run up to something like 17 cents, and then 20 cents would be your next targets. That's what I would say, right? Let's go with that and go up to 17. It's a little 12%er, and maybe this would be phenomenal if you could get 20 cents. That's a little 33%er too. It'd be good. Okay, what else do we want to look at? This is a pipeline project, and we were looking for a breakout above 12.14. I think we got our alert set. We were getting higher lows, and we're starting to see higher highs, and we want to see it break above that. And if we do, this is looking like it might be turning around. I know this is not a turnaround formation. Typically, I think you see these break down, but I could be wrong about that. But it looked like a textbook Elliott wave. And like I said last time, I'm not super good at Elliott wave. I think it's very subjective into how you want to paint it. But you could see you had a nice clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up with a nice ABC correction. Will that ABC correct farther to a lower C? Who knows? But you are starting to see the right things, right? So I'd say a nice breakout above 12 and some change would be good. All right, bedtime tea is all gone. What else are we gonna look at? That's pretty much all I got here. Yeah, if you are watching this content, enjoy it. Don't forget to join up on the Discord. This will be somewhere good to, chat with. I'm looking to get some live chats going. I think it'd be cool to see other people's opinions on what they're seeing, and maybe even have them do a live chat during some. Oh, my monitor just cut out. Doing some live chat during a live stream. I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, so join up on the Discord. If you got in this far, don't forget to give that thumbs up. Help that YouTube algorithm, and hopefully we can continue to grow this stream. That'd be pretty badass. All right, until next time. Later. No, I didn't end it right, but that's okay. See you later.